So PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, and what it really is a failure to return to normal after a traumatic event. So something happens and then people don't get back to their lives as they previously were. And of course, if something happens, we're humans, we're going to have an emotional response. What happens is when it's prolonged, and then after 6 months, people are still struggling. Then we start diagnosing PTSD. So signs and symptoms of PTSD are highly variable and often misdiagnosed as other conditions. People can have trouble sleeping, high anxiety, depression, trouble experiencing positive emotions, trouble in their relationships because they struggle with loving emotions with the people that they know that they love. Even so far as having what we call perceptual distortions, which other people call hallucinations. They can hear people whispering their name or see shadows out of the corner of their eyes. And they're afraid to say these things. Avoidance. They don't want to go to the places that remind them of what happened. They don't want to be around people that look like what happened. So commonly when we think of PTSD, our mind automatically goes to war, soldiers. But more commonly in our communities, we see exposure to violence or having violent acts acted upon them on an individual level. Learning about it. We see medical trauma, we see sexual assaults, we see childhood trauma, community violence, racial trauma. So COVID took a turn for PTSD people. It exposed them to trauma directly. A lot of healthcare workers were exposed to this type of trauma that they dealt with in the past, but now it was at such an extreme that they started to struggle dealing with it. People that already had PTSD saw an emergence of symptoms, a return of symptoms, a worsening of symptoms. Their fears were verified. The world is a dangerous place. We all might be in trouble. Maybe I might get sick. Maybe I might get hurt. What was also explained to me by a patient that masks are more troublesome because people that have trauma don't like looking at people in the eyes. Oftentimes the aggressors used that, look at me in the eyes before they harmed them. Or don't look at me in the eyes. And now if you have a mask on, there's nothing left but to look in someone's eyes. And so it's traumatizing. Also, you cannot easily identify people with a mask on. So worrying, where your brain can quickly switch from that's not someone that hurt me in the past to now, are we sure that's not someone that hurt me in the past? Because half of their face is covered. It's not so easy anymore. So if a loved one or yourself or someone that you care about has symptoms of PTSD that you recognize, be loving. They don't see the world like you do. Things that you think, I don't know why he got upset about that, I probably do. And it's because it closely mirrored something bad that happened in their past. So encourage them to reach out for help. Remind them how important they are to you and how much you want them back in your life as the best person that they can be. And there is help. Be gentle, be supportive, don't judge. It's not a morality issue. They aren't acting in a certain way because they're bad people. They're acting in a certain way because that's what's helped them survive bad things. And so if we can get people fully restored, people will have much more loving relationships and be more present in them. PTSD can be treated in a variety of ways. We can do it through therapy, we can do it through medication. There are treatment models that match your need or your loved one's need. Some people like individual therapy, some people like group therapy. Some people don't want to talk about all the bad things that happened or even can't remember all of the bad things that happened. And they think, well, what will therapy help me with? I don't want to talk about this and I don't even remember this. There are models that match that too. If you find yourself with an inability to cope, with distancing yourself from your families, with you no longer enjoy the things that you used to enjoy. You're having trouble sleeping, you're having panic attacks, you're just not okay. It's time to reach out because we're here for you, and the sooner we fix this, the sooner you're back on your feet. This is treatable. We can help, but you need to reach out. You don't want this to last longer in your life than it needs to. The biggest takeaway concerning PTSD is to remember that it is highly individualized, highly variable, and you've done nothing wrong. So there's no need to carry this burden. It's somebody else's. Come see us. Let us help you unpack that heavy box you've been carrying along so that you can lead a happy, healthy life, because that's what's on the other side.